by controlling what coenzymes are available for metabolic pathways. An example, unrelated to photosynthesis, happens to be fertilization events for organisms like sea urchins, which broadcast spawn, so they throw out eggs into the Pacific, they throw out sperm into the Pacific and say good luck. And the egg then has to wait and hope that somewhere in the Pacific Ocean there will be a sperm that will find it. And during that time, in order to survive, it has to burn carbohydrates. And so NAD is used, and all of the hydrogen carriers, like NAD, not all of the hydrogen carriers, but all of the hydrogen carriers in the NAD family have their phosphates removed, and they can serve for that respiration event of burning glucose. As soon as fertilization occurs, sodium ions rush in, calcium ions are released from internal stores, and there is an enzyme cascade which adds phosphates to the NAD, transferring the whole metabolic pathway of degrading molecules to synthesizing molecules, because now you've got foreign alien DNA in there that's saying, hey, let's build this organism in a completely different way than you thought you were going to do. So the sperm information comes in, bringing in its own DNA, and whole new molecules have to be built. So whether you're a sea urchin or a human, the first part of your life is essentially beginning with your mother's chemistry set, and then Dad throws in this random information, and all of a sudden you have a whole new chemistry that you have to deal with. And so there's a trigger for that, and that trigger is adding a phosphate to NAD to make NADP. Okay, that said, photosynthesis. Photosynthesis essentially is two processes, as is respiration. Respiration contains a cyclic metabolic pathway, the tricarboxylic acid cycle, and an electron transport chain. And photosynthesis is two processes as well, one of which is light capture, and production of NADPH plus H plus and ATP. And the other one is carbon fixation, and production of sugars. This process right here is photophosphorylation. And this process here is known by a variety of names, just like the tricarboxylic acid cycle. It's known as the Calvin cycle. It's known as the Calvin-Benson-Bassem cycle, because we're interested in not just the person that taught at Berkeley, but also the people that actually did the work. And the one that I like is the photosynthetic carbon reduction cycle, abbreviated PCR, which is unfortunate, because PCR has been usurped by molecular biologists. But we're going to use it. Photosynthetic carbon also Calvin cycle,